look, nobody else will talk. It's time.
So it's a prince. So now you're saying he did the hiding.
Come on, everybody saw it. So what are you saying here now?
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Azaka. If this is your first time on my channel, you're very welcome. Please do not forget to hit on the subscription button down below and tap on the notification bell so you get notified when I post new stuff. If you're not a subscriber, mwah, I got mad love for you. Anyways guys, today we're going to be talking about BBNAIJA reunion. Today guys, we have on the table all the epic fights in the house, all the gbos here and there. So first of all, Ebuka started asking the housemates who they thought was the most easily triggered, and then Prince said that he thought that Lucy was the most easily triggered because she was always getting upset, little things used to get to her and all of that. And then Ebuka asked Tolani Bad who triggered her the most, and she said it was Ka3na, and it was because Ka3na just had this bossy aura to her, and that yes, she knows she was bossy to a lot of the housemates, to most of the housemates in the house, but she felt like she was extra bossy to her, and that she just felt like it was because she was, you know, quiet when she was in the house, she wasn't saying a lot. That's why Ka3na was being extra bossy to her. So they showed a clip in the house, the Tolani and Tolani Bad and Ka3na fight. I'm sure you remember that, the one that was about food or something. And then Ebuka now asked the housemate if the Tolani Bad's reaction on the situation was over the top, and then Neo was like, nah, he doesn't really think it was over the top. He just felt like it was, you know, girls having their regular or usual issues. Then they asked Watoni, and then Watoni was like, nah, she didn't think it was over the top. She just felt like Tolani Bad was fed up with Ka3na's bossy attitude. And then Ebuka asked her if Ka3na was a bully or if she was bossy, and then Watoni said to her she thought Ka3na was bossy, not a bully. And then Ebuka asked V said similar thing. V said yeah, that she thought that Ka3na was bossy and that she doesn't know why everyone is attributing the food issue in the house to Ka3na, because even after Ka3na left, they were still having food issues in the house. So it was a general issue, it wasn't a Ka3na issue. So yeah. But V also said that she felt like Ka3na had it coming because of the way she responded to Tolani Bad. She responded to Tolani Bad in a way that Tolani Bad had to react the way that she did. Now, this is one thing I like about V. We won't dispute the fact that V and Tolani Bad has an issue, but V still spoke the truth, not just her truth, because she didn't say, oh, Tolani Bad reacted, that's the way she does, blah, blah, blah. She said it as it was, saying that Tolani Bad reacted just the way she should have, and it was because Ka3na had done too much. Ka3na said was rude to her, and so she had it coming, and it just made me like V even more. Then Ebuka now asked Ka3na who was the housemaid that triggered her the most, and she said she didn't think anyone really triggered her because she didn't really have beef with anyone. And then Ebuka was like, you're getting this wrong. There is a difference between beef and trigger. So because you can, you know, your husband as your spouse can trigger you, but it doesn't mean you have beef with your husband. So she was like, hey, nobody triggered her in the house. Then Ebuka asked Prince what he thought about the Tolani Bad and Ka3na situation, and then Prince said that he didn't think that the food issue was a Ka3na issue, because even after she left the house there was still the food issue in the house. It wasn't a Ka3na issue. He also asked Ozo, and then Ozo said yeah, that Ka3na, she just made a big deal out of the food situation, and it wasn't like she was taking it any personally. It's just that she had favorites and she would usually give her favorites more food, and this was what, you know, irked the other housemates. And that Lucy's issue, because apparently some of the housemates had issues with Lucy and concerning food as well. And then also said that Lucy's issue was the fact that she didn't like the fact that people would eat and not do their dishes. So if you did your dishes after eating, you won't have an issue with Lucy. And then they now showed a clip, you know, the fight between Ozo and Prince. Then they showed it, and then Ebuka now asked the housemates what they thought about the situation, and Trikiti was the first person to speak, and he said that he felt that that situation was centered around Nengi, because that was the time there was a Nengi Ozo Prince situation, and so that situation was centered around Nengi. And to my surprise, it seemed like the housemates, all the housemates shared his opinion, because everybody was like, yeah, definitely that was the Nengi Ozo Prince situation. However, Nengi said she did not think that situation was about her. She just felt like Ozone wanted everything to come out perfectly, and you know how people that don't usually get upset are. When they get upset they get, you know, over the top. And then Dora was like, even she was shocked. She was like, what is going on here? That she even asked him, is this about Nengi? And then Ozone said no, but she was like, are you sure? And then Ozone said it wasn't, but she felt it was a bit about Nengi and a bit about the fact that he was just frustrated, right? It was just tension from the house. So Ebuka asked Ozo, and then Ozo said no, absolutely not, it wasn't anything about Nengi, and that he really feels bad for the way he reacted that day, that he shouldn't have reacted that way, and he felt bad. And then Ebuka asked Prince about the situation, and then Prince said that he just felt this unreceptive vibe coming from Ozo, and that he doesn't know why that was the case, because he thought they were, you know, trying to build a friendship or whatever. And then also was like, the reason why his friendship with Prince did not work is the fact that Prince was a very sore loser. Like when he lost a task or whatever, he would go to his bed and he would be moody and sulking and crying, and he didn't really understand that. So that was why he distanced himself from Prince. And a lot of the housemates shared this opinion. If you remember, you know Prince, he was a crybaby. Every time he lost a task, he would go to his bed crying. And Tochi even hit the nail on the head when he said today that Prince is like those students in school, you know, the ones that when they come second they cry and cry. Meanwhile, you that came 5th or even 10th, you are happy that, oh more, I did not fail low, I even came top 10. That Prince is those kind of students that come second and they're crying that they did not come first. And that was apt on period, because Prince was just a crybaby for nothing. And I was like, how can you be so grown? I mean, it's okay to feel bad when you lose, but come on, every other person there, do you think they came there to fry akara? They came to play, they came to compete. So Prince was like, no, he doesn't know why they felt threatened by him. It's a competition, he's supposed to feel bad if he lost. And besides, there were times that his friends won. He felt bad that he lost, but he was also happy with them. But he didn't like the fact that they had to create a clique or create a task force. And he was referring to Neo, Ozo, V, and I can't remember the last housemate, that they created a task force to be talking about his issue and all of that. And then V was like, no, you're getting it all wrong. We did not create any task force to talk about you. Yes, people talked about people, but everybody did the same thing. Even you talked about people in the house. And then Neo said the same thing, that obviously he talked to V about Prince severally, but it was nothing more. The same way he talked to V about every other housemate, that V was his go-to person. So anything he felt he needed to talk about. And obviously everybody talked about the fact that Prince was a crybaby every time he lost. So that was not even an issue. What does it mean by task force? Prince went further to say that they were deliberately trying to sabotage him, making sure that he did not win. And then V said, no, we're not trying to sabotage you or anything, but if I see that when you lose you are a certain type of way, this is a competition, I'm going to keep hitting on it so that you keep losing, and then you feel some type of way. And if the heat is too much, you get out of the kitchen. And then it was like, oh, so you just admitted that you were trying to sabotage me? And she was like, no, but if you're saying that is sabotage, okay, but that was not my intention. My intention was to win, as it's a competition, so my intention is to frustrate you as much as possible. And then it was like, there was a day that they were having a task and someone said that they should hide the ball so that he would not see the ball, to be hard for Prince. But Neo said, guy, you were the person that did that thing. I remember you were the person that hid it because you had the best time at the time and you didn't want anybody to beat your score, and you hid it. But then Praise and whatever and Prince, they cleared the air, saying that, oh, the situation that Neo is referring to happened after the one that Prince is talking about. And then Prince also said that there was even a time when he won a privilege in the house, and so they were even saying that they need to make sure that Prince doesn't win the next one. And Lucy was like, let her just confess, let her come clean. She was the one that said it, that Prince better not win the next privilege, and that's because when Prince won, he was making people cook for him, do this and do that, and she was like, Prince better not win this next one. But it's normal if someone is acting a certain type of way, acting like they're mini god because they won a challenge, obviously you won't want them to win. And even if they were not acting that way, obviously you want to also win, so you can pray that the person doesn't win. All these things, it's nothing personal. It was a game. You people did not come there to come and be saying, oh, let my friend win. Everybody came there to win. So Prince, take a chill pill. Long story short, Neo and Ozone felt like they did not connect with Prince because of this is crybaby attitude, the attitude of, you know, sulking whenever he lost. And then BBNAIJA said yes, she agrees with V and Neo and Ozone that Prince used to be a very sore loser, but she was in a situationship with him, so she was used to it and she had to deal with it. And so because she cared about him at the time, she would, you know, try to talk him out of it. Nengi even added saying that there was the Pepsi task, she was partners with Prince, and then when it was time for the task, she did her part and completed it. And then she gave Prince, and Prince was supposed to do his own part, but they lost the task. And then Prince went around saying it was Nengi that made her lose, it was Nengi that made her lose, that she felt bad that they lost, and that Prince, who was the reason for their losing, was not going around saying it was her, that she just felt like it wasn't necessary, that those kind of things that he used to do used to get to her. And then V now, so let her just say one last thing. V just said, nobody else can make you lose a task except yourself. Period. Because it's not like somebody can go and sabotage you when you are playing. If you don't win the task, it is all you, nobody else. So stop blaming the housemates. And Ebuka asked them if they saw Prince as a threat in the house, and then Prince said yes, he saw Prince as a threat, but that he didn't like the fact that he used to sob and be sulky when he lost, because they all came into the house for a competition. If you are not winning, then obviously somebody else is winning, because that was the essence of coming into the house in the first place. And then also said he didn't see him as a competition. And then they asked Prince whether he felt like the housemates saw him as a competition, which is why they were acting the way they were acting towards him. And then it was like he didn't really care if they saw him as a competition. If they saw him as a competition, that is their problem, not his. And that's actually true. Then lastly, Ka3na went around and asked everybody who they felt was faking their trigger. Like, who were those people that they felt like they were getting angry just for camera time, like faking trigger. And so I'll tell you what they said. I wrote it down. I don't have it crammed in my head because it's not exam or writing. So he asked Praise first, but Praise said he can't think about any person now, and so he moved to Tricky T. And then Tricky T said he felt like it was Lucy, because it was like, this thing not supposed to vex you like this, so why are you vexing? But then while he was saying that, Praise now said yes, now that you're saying it, I remember it was Lucy. He felt like Lucy was faking her trigger, and at some point he even felt like Lucy was a fake housemate the first week, because Lucy used to just provoke for any small thing, so he felt like Lucy was a fake housemate. And then he moved to Lucy, and Lucy said she was surprised that people were saying that she used to get easily triggered, that she was just being herself, doing her. If she felt like you upset her, she'll talk about it and nothing more. But she felt like Ka3na was one of the persons that was always faking her trigger, because Ka3na was almost always angry. And Ebuka asked Neo, and Neo said that he's forced to say Lucy, but he thinks it was Ka3na, because Ka3na was just somebody that he didn't really understand in the house. V, Nengi and Tochi said that they didn't really feel like anyone was, you know, faking their trigger, because they felt like there was just this tension in the house and everyone was reacting to certain situations the way they felt like they needed to react, so they didn't feel like anyone was faking their trigger. Prince said that he felt like Ka3na used to fake her trigger. Watoni said that she felt like Lucy was the one that used to fake her trigger in the house. At this point, Lucy was just laughing like, how? But I was just being myself and everything. And then they asked BBNAIJA, and BBNAIJA said no one, she didn't really feel like anyone was faking their trigger. And then Ka3na asked, so were you faking your trigger when you reacted to the Ka3na situation? And she was like, no, not at all. That honestly, she didn't even want to react. She had walked away, but she came back because she felt like if she did not say something about this, Ka3na was going to do it again, and she had to put a stop to the situation. Yes, so guys, that's where the show came to an end, and then we saw a few clips from tomorrow. I think Tochi was calling someone a bully. I think he was talking about Ka3na because the camera went towards Ka3na at a point. And then tomorrow we're going to see more gbos from Prince and Neo. So guys, trust me, you do not want to miss tomorrow's episode, so that's why you need to subscribe to my channel. I don't know what you are waiting for. What are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel and tap on the notification bell on the side so you get notified when I post new stuff. If you haven't given this video a big thumbs up, how far? Please give my video a big thumbs up. Until I see you on the next one tomorrow. Ciao.